Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into an event that hasn't even been officially announced yet, but trust me, it is already sending absolute shockwaves through the financial world. We're talking about the highly anticipated OpenAI IPO. Millions of investors around the globe are already gearing up for this, and we're going to break down exactly why.
Could this actually eclipse the legendary IPOs of Google or Facebook, or maybe even rival NVIDIA's massive run? The hype is absolutely deafening right now, but to really understand the opportunity, we've got to cut through the noise and look at the cold, hard facts, starting with what their incredibly unique company structure actually means for a public future.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the Open IPO hype, the IPO reality and timeline, buying as a small investor, what drives the value, the major investment risks, and finally, the dawn of the AI economy.
Section 1. The OpenAI IPO hype.
So, the crazy excitement you're seeing, it stems from one core reality. OpenAI isn't just building another piece of software. They're literally building the underlying engine for a totally new era. Through their advanced models, they're triggering massive, simultaneous global transformations across enterprise business, robotics, education, healthcare, and basically the fundamental future of work as we know it.
And they definitely aren't doing this alone. Major partnerships have solidified OpenAI as an undisputed heavyweight in this space. Microsoft has poured billions of dollars into them, deeply integrating this AI across Windows, Office, the Azure cloud, and tons of enterprise software. That kind of backing gives OpenAI unprecedented, massive scale right out of the gate.
Section 2. IPO reality and timeline.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the company is actually built. OpenAI is highly unusual. It operates as part nonprofit and part for-profit capped company. Yeah, this is definitely not your standard Silicon Valley startup. This unique hybrid structure makes an IPO way more complicated than a normal market debut. They have to carefully navigate their original mission while somehow satisfying the immense demands of capital markets.
And those capital demands, absolutely staggering. We are talking tens of billions of dollars required every single year. Developing AI is insanely expensive. OpenAI is burning through cash to secure AI chips, build massive data centers, pay the electric bill for colossal energy consumption, and run continuous cloud computing. This immense financial pressure is exactly why analysts believe they'll eventually be forced to restructure and go public.
So what does this timeline actually look like for us? Well, right now they are rapidly expanding and restructuring. Down the road, experts think we might see some spin-offs or maybe even the creation of a separate public AI infrastructure company. But because of antitrust scrutiny, intense competition, and very real safety concerns, analysts are pegging the actual IPO window somewhere between 2027 and 2030.
Section 3. Buying as a small investor.
Okay, we need to address the elephant in the room. Right now, ordinary retail investors absolutely cannot buy OpenAI shares directly on the public market. The company is still strictly private. I really want to ground the FOMO right here. If anyone tells you that you can buy direct public shares today, it's just false.
However, if and when that IPO finally drops, you'll likely be able to jump in through your standard brokers and trading apps. Platforms like Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, Trading 212, eToro, and Hargreaves Lansdown. Those are the exact places everyday investors and those using retirement accounts will go to get a piece of the action.
And when they do list, everybody expects them to call the Nasdaq exchange home, which makes total sense, right? The Nasdaq has basically always been the primary hub for massive tech companies and digital platforms.
But look, we have to be real about how the market actually works. Highly anticipated IPOs come with a massive warning label. They are extremely volatile, incredibly hyped up, and honestly very frequently overpriced in those early trading days. Plus, the huge financial institutions and hedge funds almost always get VIP access way before ordinary investors can even hit the buy button. You've got to tread carefully.
Section 4. What drives the value? The valuation estimates are already absolutely mind-blowing, with a lot of analysts projecting it easily exceeds $100 billion. If the public markets fully price in this whole AI boom, analysts think OpenAI could eventually rival the sheer market weight of tech titans like Alphabet, Amazon, or Microsoft.
So what's driving those massive numbers? Well, we're looking at a few major growth catalysts. Rapid global AI adoption by businesses translates directly to expanding enterprise AI revenue. Add in the real potential for AI to totally disrupt traditional internet search engines, the rise of autonomous AI agents that can handle customer service and write code, and just the fierce race for total global AI dominance, the bull case here is incredibly strong.
Section 5. The major investment risks.
But hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Immediately countering those growth catalysts are some severe, very tangible risks. OpenAI faces looming government regulations around safety, copyright laws, and data privacy. Plus, they're burdened by those gigantic operating costs we talked about earlier. Throw in real fears that AI stocks might be entering a market bubble, and tricky geopolitical risks like US-China tensions impacting semiconductor supply chains. Yeah, the bear case holds a lot of weight, too.
And let's talk about that first massive risk for a second. Competition. OpenAI is definitely not operating in a vacuum. They are fighting a brutal, all-out war for global dominance against incredibly well-funded rivals. We're talking Google DeepMind, Anthropic, Meta, Elon Musk's xAI, Amazon, and heavily backed Chinese AI firms. That competitive moat is being fiercely tested every single day.
Section 6. Dawn of the AI economy.
And this brilliantly illustrates the true scale of what we're actually talking about here. An OpenAI IPO wouldn't just be about one single company ringing a bell on Wall Street. Experts believe it symbolizes the dawn of the entire AI economy. People are comparing this to history's biggest technological leaps, the advent of electricity, the birth of the internet, the smartphone revolution. OpenAI is currently positioned as one of the primary architects of this next massive phase of human development.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. Having weighed the monumental hype against the complex realities of their corporate structure, that fierce competition, and those staggering costs, would you invest in OpenAI if it went public today? It's a fascinating question that will undoubtedly define the next decade of investing. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack all of this. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.